Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. This is my very first vlog. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. As it says in the title, why I quit school to do what I'm doing right now. Why I quit school, why I dropped out of college so that I may be who I am today. So for those of you who might be joining us for the first time on this vlog, Takunda S. Chikomo is my name, and I am the, can I say founder? Yeah, of Prodigy Poetry Zimbabwe, or I'm the brains behind Prodigy Poetry Zimbabwe. Prodigy Poetry Zimbabwe, what we do is we focus on poetry. We focus on the talk shows, Imbonge, the poetry masterclass. I do vlogs and I specialize in writing. Anything to do with poetry, writing, entertainment, bringing you information. That's what we are as Prodigy Poetry Zimbabwe. Going back to the topic of today, why did I quit school to do what I'm doing today? To do vlogging, to write full-time, and also to pursue my passion for photography. Why did I do that? I'll take you back a few years. My love for art, I started feeling it when I started doing public speaking and debate when I was in high school. So that's when I felt that I am a writer and I love things to do with writing and speaking. So 2 years of my O-levels, I was nailing it, getting trophies, winning competitions in public speaking, debate, all of those things. I was invited to do speeches at schools, assemblies, and public functions. I would do all of those things and it would feel so fulfilling, right? And I was in a science class, so it felt as if I was in the wrong place. So for my advanced levels, I then took an arts class, geography. Back then it wasn't an entirely science subject, geography, English literature, and divinity or family and religious studies. Please forgive me for the background sounds. It's my name. Doing arts in my class, and that's when I was introduced to poetry. Lower 6, I was then introduced to poetry, and it felt so natural. It felt as if I was at home. When I was in my English literature lesson, it felt as if I was being taught, or I was being introduced to a world that I didn't know of, but I knew that this was the world to which I belonged. I just hadn't discovered or found that world yet. Let me actually tell you this. When I got to my advanced levels, I was not given English literature in the first place. I was doing Shona. They eat a Shona. So Shona, the whole time, the first 3 months of my lower, I really did not enjoy Shona. Shona had a level of depth to it that I just could not sink with. It was just too difficult for me. So I approached my Shona teacher, showed her my books, and I told her, this is what's happening with me now. I'm not getting this. I am so passionate about Shona. I had passed Shona in my odd levels, but still it felt as if that wasn't the place that I needed to be. And I showed her, look, my results, I'm always below average. Can't we do something about that? Can I try and defer and probably do history or literature? And she was okay with it, and she said, okay, fine, I'll help you. And then she linked me with the teacher for English literature. So I was now taking 4 advanced level subjects. That was Shona, English, geography, and family and religious studies. Now that's me. And then all of a sudden, I'm introduced to English literature. I'm taking down notes. The things that I'm seeing, the things that I'm reading, the notes, the novels, it just felt so natural to me. It just felt as if the things that I was being taught, it all started to make sense. Up until the moment I then felt that, okay, I'm nailing it here in English literature. I can finally leave Shona. And then I left my Shona classes. I stopped attending Shona classes. My Shona teacher was okay with it. We parted ways in good books. I joined English literature and I was nailing it. I would like to believe I was amongst the best 2 or 3 students. Because yeah, man, I knew things. You know, people had already been introduced to English literature a few months before I had actually joined them. But you'd be surprised that by the time that I caught up with them and then actually started attending the lessons full time, it felt as if I knew more than they do. They were actually coming to me for advice. They were coming to me for help with their assignments and everything. And for me, I really felt as if I was in my zone. I had found my little space. I had found my space, and I was nailing it. And then that's when I started feeling as if instead of me just analyzing poetry, I could actually do something of myself, because we were then introduced to the art of poetry, and it just felt so natural. And then I started writing poetry. It would just start by me taking down notes, and then taking down notes of other people's poems, and then I would use them to try and recreate what I felt. And guess what? It worked for me. I would show those poems to my desk mate, my best friend, my close yokai. And yokai would read these poems and she would actually tell me, "Good, dude, you're good." I would show them to some of my classmates, and they would actually say, "They're good." They would encourage me. And then that was that. I took my poems, I would write them on my phone in my notepad. It then came to a point where I started then putting them up on my WhatsApp statuses and sending through in some of the groups in which I was. And people would always send good comments about my poems. People would actually tell me that my poems were good. Some people would tell me I've never seen such creativity. And for me, it felt as if these people were trying to just make me feel good. I did not believe it. Up until the moment I put one poem on my status, and that poem, it struck a chord in another person's heart, and they actually told me, "Takunda, you can write a book with these poems. What are you doing with these poems?" From then onwards, I started writing poems, putting them up on my statuses, and my friends would like them. I would attend my poetry sessions. I would tell you this. Me attending poetry sessions, poetry jams and battles, it was one of the most life-changing things for me, because Izwi Poetry Jam, it's a group of young artists who are passionate about poetry, and I would always feel good. These people are speaking so much sense. Not only are they speaking sense, but they're relating to what's happening in my life and also to all of us. And I felt at home. I could try and change the world by being part of these guys. So I joined Izwi Poetry. I would send poems. We would compete in competitions, poetry slams. We would go for poetry readings. And from then onwards, things just started flowing for me. I would like to specifically mention one guy, Leonard. Leonard, most of you know him as Hey Preacher. Hey Preacher, he presents his poetry in a way that is so passionate, in a way that is so deep, in a way that is so relatable. I remember one poem that he presented, and I remember saying to myself, if this guy doesn't change my life or doesn't change the way that I see or treat poetry, I don't know what else will. Because the way that he presented himself, it so much resonated with my life. He mentioned something along the lines of toolbox yangu muromo. Toolbox yangu hasi zvinhu zvinobatika inini industry yangu muromo. Why is it you rebuked me when I decided kuti handisikuda kuenda kunoita chemistry ne science ne maths, but I want to use my art to make money, to make a living out of muromo wangu. And I remember saying to myself, damn, this guy is good. What this guy is saying is the truth. It made so much sense to my life. And from then onwards, I took his report to James seriously. I would always participate, would always do things. And fast forward a year on, that was 2017. 2018, I finally managed to have enough poems to put into a book. And from there onwards, things just flowed. I then got my first book published, which is Curtains, an anthology of poems. That was 2018. Since then, my love for poetry, it never stopped. From Curtains to these things also happened to me, to Deflowered and my next book, 2019. I got my A-levels, I passed. I remember saying this to myself and also to my dad, because he would ask me, so what are you going to do for your A-levels? And I'll tell him, if I don't go to school so that I may write, I'm not going to school at all. I told my dad, if I'm not going to school, to college for the sake of enhancing myself as a writer, there's no point for me to go. So for that only to happen, I only had one choice, and that was to do a degree in English literature or creative writing. And fortunately enough, I got a place at the University of Zimbabwe, and that was that. The university accepted me, and voila, I was going to college. It was a dream come true. It was I was really, really happy. And then things started happening. Things started falling apart. 3 months into college, I started feeling as if what I was doing was not in any way helping me with my dreams or with my passion. For me, the whole idea was to go to school so that I may be enhanced as a writer. I did not go to college so that I may be taught how to write. No, I don't need to be taught how to write. What I need to be taught is to enhance my creativity. Get me right there. So, then I go college. College will be given assignments. We'll be told to read books. We'll be told to do projects and all those things. Okay, we were doing it. My first assignments, I would submit. You'll be shocked, I got below average marks. Below average marks. Yet, when I was writing these assignments, come on, this makes a lot of sense. I've written so much. So, how come I'm failing? That was when I later on realized, I'm actually in the wrong place. College was not going to enhance me as a creative writer. What college was going to show me was where to look for when you are trying to do research in terms of who to write or how to write like so and so. What am I saying? What they teach you is academic writing. You're actually taught, I'm sure it's communication skills. Communication skills, yeah, I think so. Where you are taught what is called academic writing. So in academic writing, you don't write or speak the way that we write, especially as my writers, the way that we address ourselves in our novels. In academic writing, you don't play around with the Queen's English. You don't. Of which I'm going to college so that I may earn what is called creative writing. So my assignments, myself as a creative writer, I would apply creative writing in my assignments instead of applying academic writing. So guess what happened? I would always fail my assignments. I would always get below average marks. Despite the fact that participation in class, it was standard. I was one of the most interactive students. My lecturers will tell you that, or my former lecturers, they will tell you that everyone knew Kuti Takunda is one person you go to if you want to ask certain questions, especially to do with creative writing. So why was I failing my classes? It was because of academic writing. Myself, and then I wanted to enhance myself as a creative writer. I was always struggling. I never enjoyed college, my classes. I never enjoyed them, especially when it came to assignments. I never. I would always find with my assignments. I would say, instead of writing an assignment, a poem or even a short story. My friends will tell you that. My roommate will even tell you that. Kuti Takunda would spend much of his time writing short stories, writing poetry instead of writing assignments. Pato Zosara a day or two, then that's when I would try and gather and sit down and try and think, okay, how can I submit my assignments? Those who submitted, but my heart wasn't ready to it. My heart was nowhere close to wanting to write those assignments. Because myself, I knew that I was a creative writer. I knew that I was an individual who understood more writing from within than trying to write what else someone is trying to put on you. So always I would fail my assignments. Up until I started asking myself, did I make the wrong choice by coming to college? Because when I came to college, ndichienda kunoita degree in English literature, I knew I was doing the right thing. I thought, this is the degree for me. But why is it's not feeling exactly as I wanted or anticipated? Why is it these courses, they have nothing to me? Why is it they're not giving us my assignments? They're going to go and write an essay from your own mind, inspired by 1, 2, 3, and 4. Why is it they're telling us to go and quote a certain scholar? Why is it they're not telling us to go and write from your own heart or your own experience, and we'll make that as an assignment? They never gave us such assignments. So for me, it felt as if I was wandering in a place that was not the place that I wanted to be. So I understand they do have what they call creative writing courses, which is quite fine, but still in creative writing courses, they don't give us the opportunity to write creatively. They're just telling us the basics or the necessary information in order to be creative. But that's not what I want. I want to put that into practice. I would like to give you an example. You see, hondo inoita kuti a person ave mambo. The fight that makes a person to be a king, it's not done at home. It's done out in the wilderness. So in what I believe is, for me to be able to write creatively, for me to reproduce, or for me to invent my own world, to invent my own creative works, I need to do it outside of the space of a classroom. I get inspiration outside of the classroom. The classroom is just there to give me information, but for me to write creatively, it happens outside. But the problem was, everything was just found in class. So for me, it was just so difficult. So 2019, yes, it was fun. I did enjoy my time at college. However, it felt as if the classroom was not the space that I needed to be. The kind of information that we were being given, it wasn't the kind of information that I needed. So I ended up feeling lost. Fast forward 2020, the COVID-19 outbreak, it spread, and then everyone was forced to go back home. And then we had to do online classes. I don't want to lie to you, that for me, it was the worst moments of my life. Online classes, A lecturer would tell you, would go probably online and copy and paste, and then paste it per WhatsApp group range and say we've done a lecture. Or wherever they got the information. For me, that was the worst. Even I never did those, but it was the worst for me. It was the worst for me. My online classes, I hated them so much. I still do, because a lecturer would set their time, send in their questions, and you have a discussion and what have you, and things would flow. But still, it felt nothing like a real classroom. It felt nothing like a real lecture. It felt nothing like anything that I expected or learned or wanted to learn. So I ended up just giving up on it altogether. I left my WhatsApp groups to do with school. I stopped submitting my assignments and I just gave up on it all, because it was just not what I felt like I needed to do. I just stopped participating because it, in a way, was never helping me to be creative. They were just forcing in my mind academic stuff, scholarly research, all those jargon to do the technical things, of which my mind, it's nothing to do with technicalities. I'm a simple person. Write a story, experience life, write a story about it. How do you experience it? You see other people, you experience it in your own, you just think creatively, imagine things. But that's not how I felt at all when I was at college. So I gave up on it. And then I had to go to the part where I had to tell my parents. I remember spending too close to a month, I think close to the whole month of August, I was offline. I just couldn't wrap my head around the idea of me quitting school, because I knew the questions that I would be asked. So, you want to be the first person to quit school. Now look at other people from your family who have quit school and look where they are now. All those questions, they were running in my mind. What are you going to do with your life now that you've quit school? Now that you've stopped submitting assignments, what are you going to do with your life? So I just took time to myself and I distanced myself from social media, from everyone else, and I just thought probably in my mind I could solve this. Guess what? I couldn't. It was just so difficult for me. So I found a solution. I later on gathered the courage. I sent a message to my uncle and aunt, and I told them, I have something very important that I need to talk to you about. I just want to say this. I owe everything to these two, my aunt and my uncle. I owe them a lot, in the sense that they offered to me a listening ear when no one else couldn't, or when I thought that I could not share my situations with everyone, because that's when I felt like if I am not in the safety of school, because at school everything we are given. At college you just ask and your parents will do everything for you. What is going to happen to my life when I've dropped out of college? So they listened to me. I went to their place. I told them, so this is the case with me. I even invited my mom over, and then we talked. I told them, I'm going to school, but my heart is not here. It's not there. The kind of information that they're teaching us, it's not the kind of information that I need. I need to be a creative writer, but the kind of information that we're being fed at college, it has nothing to do with my aspirations or what I hold for my future. I'm not saying I'm quitting school, but I need you to understand that I'm trying to find better ways, or much more suitable ways that will make me learn in a way that's more suitable to myself as a creative writer. And they were fine with it. They gave me advice, sat down with me. Okay, this is what you've decided to do. We support you. We know it's a difficult decision to come by, and that's not the general route that people take, but you've decided to do this. We're okay with it. We're supporting you. But just make sure with whatever it is that you do, you are happy with it, and you won't disappoint yourself, or you won't do something that you regret later in life. And they were so supportive of me. And that's when I understood the value of family. That's when I understood the value of having someone to talk to. Someone with whom you can trust with things that are troubling you. Personally, or I would say for myself, I'm not a person who shares a lot of stuff that happens to me. Much of the things that are happening to me, I keep to myself, and I try to find solutions or ways around it. Most of the times it works, but in some instances it doesn't. Some of these things you need to find somebody to talk to, like I did with my issue. So yeah, that was that. I talked to my family, I quit school, and they were so helpful. So what am I doing nowadays? Now that I've quit school, I've started my own business as a photographer. I was already a photographer when I was at college. So I just grew. I'm now taking it seriously. I'm now venturing into photography. I'm writing full time. I'm doing vlogs. I'm also learning with Google Learn. So I'm taking a lot of things that I feel that they are helpful for me in my future. So yeah, that is how I ended up, that is the story of how I quit college so that I might pursue my dreams as a photographer, as a writer, and as a speaker. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and also subscribe. Yeah, that's me. That is how I ended up quitting college so that I may pursue my dreams as a photographer. Thank you so much for joining me on my very first vlog. My name is Sagunda S. Chikomo. Like I always say, always remember to count your blessings and annihilate the status quo. Until we meet again next time on my next vlog, ciao.